Hey guys, real quick, only 40% of our viewers are actually subscribed, so let's change that right now. Hit that subscribe button right below. Jaxson Dart, do we have the audio for this? He says he's not going to change his playing style.
This is football. Like, I'm going to get hit if I'm in the pocket or outside the pocket. Like, I feel like I've played this way my whole entire life. There shouldn't be like any shocker to anybody if you've followed along with my career. And we're not playing soccer out here. Like, you're going to get hit. Things happen. It's part of the game.
I'd be a little concerned by that.
I would be very concerned about that. I tweeted, look, there's a line between toughness and stupidity. And at the moment, he's on the wrong side of that line. That hit he took against Caden Ellis was dumb. Like, that's a stupid hit to take as a quarterback. There is a difference between understanding when you need to put your body on the line and go Elway copter, to pick up an important first down or whatever, and understanding that you are going out of bounds anyway. Jump out a little earlier so you don't get blasted by a linebacker on your way out. Like, you may have played the game this way your entire career, but this is the first time you're in the NFL when everybody's, a legit athlete, when everybody's capable of knocking you into next week. Middle schoolers weren't able to do that, right? When you were in high school, you were the biggest, strongest, fastest kid on the block. When you were in college, you were a legit athlete relative to everybody else. You're still legit. Like, we've been surprised by how effective he is as a rusher, but every one of these guys is capable of knocking your block off. And currently you've been analyzed for concussion 4 times, with 2 of them, confirmed. It's time to modify the style, even if it's only temporary, even if it's only, okay, let's at least explore other ways of playing this game. The fact that after being looked at for concussion 4 times already, and that's not even including getting buried by Ellis in that game, the fact that he's still like, no, this is just the way I play, that's pretty concerning.
I would be concerned. And no one questions Mahomes' toughness, and he takes some hits. But he also has some element of self-preservation. I think it's more about picking your spots, and especially for Jaxson Dart, for a team that's 2-11 right now. Like, if they're next year, if they're sitting here 8-4 and fighting for a playoff spot, and you want to run QB power on 3rd and 4 and lower your head and make a play, like, that's fine. I get it, but pick your spots.
Yeah, and look, it's we've said this before. Like, it's not actually there's an inverse correlation between sort of size of quarterback and durability, essentially, because I think the bigger contributing factor is the hits you take as opposed to the size you're bringing to the table. But you're not built like Josh Allen. You're not built like Cam Newton. You're not built like one of these guys that should be able to run over a linebacker. He's a big guy, but he's not huge. He's not so big that you're like, yeah, absolutely throw your weight around. You will win the collision because you're a bigger guy. You're not. Most linebackers are still bigger than Jaxson Dart. And if those are the guys he's taking on physically, you're going to lose those collisions.
And some of the hits that we're talking about aren't just him lowering his shoulder. I think the Niners one stands out to me when he's in the pocket for like 5 seconds and just no internal clock there. And look, I think he's been good. Dart's been good, man. He's been a good player so far this year. Yeah. And shown a lot. But when you hold the ball for 5 seconds and get popped from behind,
that's why this is important.
That's what I'm saying. Like and I think there's an element of, like, Jimmy Garoppolo was fragile, but if you go back and look at when he got hurt, it was when he tried to do too much. He didn't throw the ball away in time, or he tried to make a little extra move and blew out his Achilles or his ACL along the sideline. Just save the extra hit. Every yard doesn't actually matter. And I think one of the most overrated phrases is the best ability is availability. It's overrated, because the best ability is ability. Because I don't care if you're available if you don't have ability. But if you have ability, you got to be available too. How about that? And I think Jaxson Dart has ability. That's the first key.
Yeah.
But if he's not available, then he's as useless as Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, that's the thing.
Half his starts.
If you're not good, it doesn't matter whether you get hurt all the time. If you are good, it now matters that you protect yourself, right? So this is the thing. And I agree. In the chat, somebody was saying, where is it? some name that I'm not going to pronounce.
Perfect.
Dayball got fired for not protecting him, and it turns out it was Dart all along. Look, we don't know how much of a factor that played into it, but absolutely, there are some people out there, Mike Redder perhaps, who owe Brian Dayball an apology because, look, we were questioning how much of this is Dayball just running Jaxson Dart into the ground trying to save his job, and how much of this is Jaxson Dart. At least a pretty significant chunk of it is Jaxson Dart.
I mean, there's definitely both. There's a difference between, like, you can control calling QB counter and QB power. You can't control him scrambling along the sideline and towing the line and waiting for Christian Ellis to knock his head off. I mean, that's clearly.
But that hit, I think, is the best example of, like, that hit paired with that quote is a problem. You can't take that. Like, nobody. There's not a single person out there, coach-wise, who would be like, yeah, good work. Smart, right? Every single coach would be like, do not take that hit. What are you doing?
And I'll just say this. I'd say the other quarterbacks who have towed that line of playing that style, the big quarterbacks Josh Allen does this all the time. The fact that he has not had major injuries is actually incredible given his playing style. And you could say, well, it's because he's huge and, you know, he inflicts the punishment and maybe there's some truth to that. But Cam Newton played this style, obviously.
Yeah.
They ran power counter all the time. And he was good. He was fine. And he had an MVP season. But there was definitely a point in his career where certainly the injuries caught up his last 3 or 4 years. They caught up to him. And, you know, Dart's young. He's not thinking about that right now. Big Ben played that style. And even though he was really durable, he also got banged up a lot. The number of times that he had to, you know, he's limping, he's coming out of a game, and he fought through it, and he had some toughness or whatever. But I think if you asked him, like, there was definitely a point in his career, too, where he's like, I don't want to hold the ball 3.5 seconds. I'm going to get rid of it and save myself a little bit more and pick my spots when I'm going to do the scramble drill plays. Ben was doing it differently. He wasn't running design QB runs, but he certainly invited contact more than most quarterbacks, and then he stopped doing that at some point.
There are two different ways of taking these hits. There's the in the pocket, you know, Big Ben stuff. Like, are you prepared to just get blasted while you're trying to make a play passing? And then there's the Caden Ellis play, and that's the one that I think I have a big concern about. Like, maybe the other one is more important in terms of actual durability and whether a guy is going to get hurt long term. And that might be a game you're willing to play Big Ben style in terms of, look, I'm just going to put my body on the line because these are the plays that are important. But it's quarterbacks do not get that many opportunities to be like, you have complete and total say whether you take a hit or not, right? There's a 230-plus pound linebacker running with a head of steam in your direction, and you control 100% whether or not that guy delivers a bone-crushing blow on your body or not. Now, if there are very few instances in football where you have that 100% control. You can either. What do you want to do, Jaxson? You got a 50-50 choice. Either you take a massive shot from a big, heavy guy running straight at you, or you don't. You know, what do you want to go for? And Jaxson Dart is voluntarily opting into, no, light me up, right? You know, what are you doing? Why? For half a yard?
And I just think at the end of the day, like, Jaxson Dart, I think, is a good passer of the football. And that's going to be the most important thing. I don't think him picking up a couple extra yards because he's tough.
Oh, we've been talking about the wrong Ellis. It's Christian Ellis. Is that right?
Christian. You keep saying Caden, but it's Christian, yes. I meant to say that to you off air the other night. Christian. Dart, I think Dart could be a good passer in this league. And, you know, a 10-yard slant counts the same as a 10-yard run, right? So develop as a passer. And then, like a Josh Allen, when it's third down, when the game's on the line, like, then you start to use what I think it has been a superpower that we didn't anticipate.
Yeah.
Which is his running ability. It is a special part of his game. But just like we've said before, you don't want Justin Fields running. I mean, you might want him running 12 to 15 times because he doesn't throw the ball as efficiently. I don't want Jaxson Dart with 12 carries next to his name every single week. If there's 6 or 7 and they're the right ones at the right time, fine. But I think he can develop as a passer, and that's going to be the most important part of his development.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of the video.
Check the Mic is live Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss a video.
You heard the man. Subscribe.